Hi guys, I'm Chris. Welcome to this week's tutorial. Let's draw together. In this week's tutorial, we'll be drawing a cute little girl in Procreate, and I'm sure you can create this too if you follow along with the video all the way to the end, or at least you'll have fun doing it in the process. If you feel rushed, be sure to hit pause and just rewind to catch up and save this video to a playlist so you can re-watch if you need a little extra practice. Today we'll be using all free brushes found in Procreate. And don't forget, once you finish this entire video and you have completed your cute little girl, share it on Instagram and tag me in the image as well as the description so I can find your artwork, and hopefully you might see it featured in the next Draw Together video. So for this tutorial, I've made you a free color palette just in case you want to use the exact same colors that I'll be using in this drawing today. So if you just tap on the link in the description below, you can find that, download it, and install it into Procreate. So let's jump in, and I'm going to create this canvas of 4000 by 4000 pixels, and it's 300 DPI and sRGB. So I'm going to start by going and getting my sketching brush. It is going to be in the sketching little library, and the 6B pencil. And of course, as always, we will start with some shapes. So we're going to do a circle, and that's going to be the start of the head. Of course, if you want to do this, I always just do rough circles, but if you hold your pen down, you'll create an actual more perfect circle, and again, tap with your finger to make an exact perfect circle. So we can do that if we want to be a little bit neater today. So we can do that. And then I'm going to draw a line down the middle, like so. And then I'm going to just bring out, actually I'm going to draw this a little bit longer. I'm going to just bring out this jaw, and so that will create the jaw. And because this is a young girl, she's not going to have a very big jaw. It's going to be a little bit smaller, a little softer, and just like that. So that's sort of our basic head shape. And so we kind of know this line is roughly going to be where the nose is. This is roughly where the mouth is going to be. And if I just draw a line, again, it's going to be a little bit lower because this is more of a juvenile look. Just down there. And that's roughly where the eyes are going to be. So if we take this as our measurement, I'm actually going to make this child about 3 heads high. So what I can do is just go and duplicate this layer by sliding it along. Let's click duplicate, clicking on the arrow and sliding it down. So that's 1 head. I can duplicate it again, repeat. And so that is about 3 heads there. So on my original layer, I'm just going to do a little mark here, and I can delete those heads. Of course, you can eyeball that, or just simply take your pen and give it a measure, but I just kind of wanted to show you. So that's kind of where her feet will be. So this is going to be a relatively static pose. She's going to be standing square, straight on ahead at us. So I'm going to start again by doing some other shapes. She's going to have a triangle here, about like that. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to draw an inverted triangle roughly about that way. So you can already start to see that it's somewhat of a person shape. Okay, so then I'm just going to make some markings for where her hands are going to be and her arms are going to go. So we're going to have her waving high. So she's going to have one arm up here, and then one arm is going to be holding some flowers down there. So I think that's roughly about the same distance. Yeah, eyeballing. And this is going to be, again, it's in a cartoon, so it's not going to be completely anatomically correct, but this is going to roughly hit mid-thigh. That's sort of where because if her knees, let's say, are approximately here, and her body is here, that's sort of about mid-thigh where her hand would naturally hit. Just approximate, and of course you can always change your dimensions a little bit just depending on how exaggerated you would like this to be. So once we have that, we'll get the action of the arm coming up this way. And this one's gonna actually kind of scoop that way. So she'll be holding some flowers over there, and she's gonna be waving hello here. Okay, and this hand's going to be closed. Right, so that looks, we're getting sort of our bearings here. Let's give her, we're gonna give her some bangs, roughly here, something like that. Actually, I'm gonna just make my pencil a little bit bigger because I'm thinking you might not be able to see, maybe to 45%. And I think I'm gonna give her some little lower pigtails here. Right. She'll have a neck. This dress will come out like that. So I'm just gonna design this. I'm gonna give her a little kind of a design like that, maybe some buttons there. This dress can have a little bit more shape than a triangle. And I'm going to scoop this here. Actually, that's too low for me. I want it a little bit higher. It's easier if I turn it like this. There we go. Again, this is just our sketch. We're just trying to make some decisions here. I hope you don't mind. I don't normally plan out or actually practice these beforehand. I just like to show you actually how I draw and how I would start to sort of think about things and how I make decisions. So hopefully that's helpful to you. You know, sometimes we might change our mind a little bit. You never know. All right. So bringing it in there. I want these eyes a little bit lower, I think, just to give us a more cutesy look. I'm sure she'll have some ears. And this is gonna be, I think her bangs would kind of go like that. Maybe she'll have, no, maybe not. And her hair will come from the crown there. Okay. And we'll make sure she's got a smile in there. I'll show you in more detail how to do that, the mouth in a minute. Right. So maybe we'll go and define this hand a little bit more. I'm gonna just do a circle. I'm gonna just erase this bit of a mess that I've made here so we can see a little bit better. So again, she's gonna have 5 fingers. She's sometimes with little characters you can do less fingers or no fingers. It's all up to you, but she's realistic enough that we should have. She'll look a little bit funny, I think, if she doesn't have enough fingers. So for the thumb, it's just gonna go up and around, oops, up and around, and then have this little bit in here, and that will really define that part of the hand, and that helps kind of let you know which way the hand is facing. And then just 1, 2, 3, and 4. That should be okay. And then let's give this arm a little bit of thickness. Now that I've drawn this, I'm thinking this is a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is just erase what I've done here and go to my little S squiggly, circle it, touch on the arrow, and bring it in a little bit. I feel like that's a little bit long. So let's see if that's better. Okay, that looks more reasonable. Don't want to have total octopus arms. All right, just make this a little bit shorter too. And this hand is just going to be, just the thumb is going to come down here, and her hand is going to be curving around, kind of like that, because she's going to be holding some flowers here. right, that looks good. This pigtail is going to go behind the arm, so that's fine. And then we're going to come in, and so how I'm going to do the legs is I'm going to just do kind of just a little slightly curved line here, and then these legs will come in like this. Maybe that should be a little bit straighter like that. And then I'm just going to give her some little feet, like so. Okay, I think she's looking cute. Right, so on to the next step. Actually, just make sure that I know where this line is going. I want this to go a little bit more up like that. There. Okay, so I'm gonna tap on my layers palette again, tap on the N. We're gonna take the opacity down. Actually, you know what, before I do that, I'm going to click on the arrow pointer and just make her a little bit bigger. Might as well use the canvas a little bit. Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm gonna tap on the N and knock back the opacity to about 25%. Hopefully you can still see it enough there. And then we're going to create a new layer. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing my outlines. You can outline it all in the same color if you wish, but in this example I'm actually going to outline it in the darker versions of the fill color. So you can see here you have a lighter colors at the top and darker below. So I'm going to use the darker versions to start with. So I'm going to start with the skin color, and I'm going to go to my inking and go to dry ink and start working here. And I might make a few adjustments as we go, but let's just start here. So, whoops, hold on. I'm gonna adjust my sizing here. I'm gonna bring it way back down to, I think 10. 10 looks good, and the opacity is at 100%. So I'm just gonna bring this in a little bit more just to make some decisions on my final work here. Could be a little sketchy. I like it to be not exactly perfect. Just to kind of get the look you want. Oops. I find it kind of hard to draw at a desk, to be perfectly honest. I'm used to drawing in my lap. It's a habit, so it's kind of funny to be sitting like this. I don't feel I can see it quite the same way, but I'll just have to get used to it. All right, let's get this hand here. I'm gonna bring that. So you can play around with the pressure on your pen to make thinner, thicker lines, just to give it a different look. And if you push hard, it'll be thick. If you go lighter, it'll go thinner and taper. And I think it's nice to vary up the lines just a little bit to add a little bit of interest. Just bring these fingers in like that. Oops. Maybe just a little bit thinner. There. Okay. Trying to decide what kind of socks we're gonna do. Maybe some stripy tights or some silly little socks. Let's see. Maybe some funny socks. So I'll do her legs here like this. Actually, I won't go all the way down because I'll leave room for the socks, I suppose. I can always come back and erase it too if I need to. It's the joy of Procreate. We can change things and erase things. It's wonderful. Okay. We'll start with that for the skin color. Okay, and then I'm going to do another layer and select, let's make her a little outfit in pink, and I'm going to actually, let me think. Yeah, I'm going to do like that. I was just wondering about the buttons. I'm going to have them a little bit bigger and go over top, which I can do because I'll put those on a different layer if I choose that. Okay. That one will go there. With that, probably connect here. Actually, no. I think the line should come from here. Makes more sense. All right. Okay. And I think I'm gonna do her shoes in pink, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna decide on that in a minute, what color her shoes are going to be. So I'm gonna do the hair next and add another layer. Go and get the dark brown and do this hair here. I'm not going to do a perfect line, I'm just going to make it a little bit wiggly. And I'm going to think about where her crown is here, crown of her head, and push harder, lighter, thicker, and then taper off just to create those lines there. So that's where her part would be. And we can kind of change those lines later as we decide exactly what we're going to do. Ooh, I realized I forgot her ears again. To go back in and do that. So let's give her a little pigtail. Piggies. Might put some ribbons in them later. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my skin layer. Go put those ears back on. All right. So for the ear inside, just do a line and then another line on the inside. A line inside. Okay. So that looks good. So why don't we put a little face on here? We can do that by just going above our skin layer and selecting the charcoal color. And I'm going to just draw in these eyes here. Maybe give her little lashes. Cute. And of course we can go in and draw this, but we can also simply duplicate our layer, hit the arrow, go down here, hit flip horizontal, hit our arrow again, and if you have the magnetics on within snapping, you can just move it along the line here, and then we have an exact replica, so we don't have to guess and try to hope for the best on getting that the same. So that's good. That's an easy little way to do it. Not cheating at all. So then you can merge that down. So I'm going to go and actually no, I'll stay on the charcoal just while we're here. And for the mouth, I'm going to do a little scoop, a little line, and then a little uptick there, and see how that works for her, a little smile. And so then you can fill this in a little bit more. And then we're gonna have a shadow underneath, and I'm actually gonna use this dark color, I think. I might change it, but we'll see. Just to suggest her lower lip there. And then we're gonna do the nose, and that's just gonna be really simple, little soft U and a little bit bolder at the ends, just like that. So let's just take this layer away so you can see. Okay, so that looks good like that. And then we can add some lips, and I'm going to do that on another layer and use this warmer pink tone and just go in and do it below. Sorry, bring this layer below and maybe just color this in a little bit. Cute. Little peak. So you can change the look of the lips if you want like that, or if you like that. It'll depend on whatever sort of look you want. While we're here with, actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the cheeks for the end. I'm gonna color her in first. So I'm gonna turn back on my sketch layer, and I should probably finish those feet. So let's go to the dress layer and just put a layer above that and go in and get this mustardy looking color, and let's go in and finish these feet here. All right, they are going to be like this. A scoop, little line out. Oops, that did not turn out right. Like that. Okay, so I'm gonna make these kind of like a little Mary Jane type ones. And then I'm going to draw in these socks, and those are going to be on my dress layer. They will be pink. And I'll fill that in like so. I'm just gonna make these silly little socks like this. They're gonna be all slouchy. Sort of like that. Maybe they will have stripes on them. I like stripes. Okay, that's cute. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my skin layer and just fill this little bit in here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do some solid fills now, just so we can kind of see a little bit better what's going on. So at our sketch layer, I'm gonna click on that and put a layer above. I'm gonna go and get the skin, the lighter taupe color, and go into inking and click on my studio pen. So this is gonna be a solid line. I'm going to put it at about, let's say 14. The size and the opacity will of course be 100%. We want this to be a solid fill. So I really like my scratchy lines, but I want the solid fill on the inside. So I'm gonna just go, and here I'll zoom in so you can see, overlap the line. So I have nice and scratchy on the outside, but filled in the center. So I don't have to do her whole head, but I will do this part because the hair will be covering it. So you just drag and drop your color in and it fills, as long as you've completed the circle. Obviously if it's open, this is what's gonna happen. So if you complete the whole circle, it's complete, there's no gaps, then of course it just fills that area. Right, so let's keep going here. Okay. Oops. Just realized I have to fix that line there. good to zoom in to see where you're at sometimes. Okay, so I'm just gonna fix this while I'm here. Go back to my skin layer, grab the darker color, grab the dry ink, and then just fill in that little line there that I had missed. Just making sure these fit everything. Okay, that's better. Okay, so then I'm gonna go below her hair layer, create a new layer, use the lighter brown, and then select that studio pen again. And actually, I can turn off this sketch layer just to see a little bit clearer. Nope, all right. We have missed a spot. Okay, I can't seem to see it. Oh, right there, top. There we go. Okay, much better. So for the pigtails, I'm actually going to make another layer and put it just above my sketch layer, below the skin layer, so that it goes behind and I don't have to worry about, you know, all this kind of stuff here. Okay, good. There's her hair. Next, let's do her little jumper here. So I'm gonna go below the pink layer, select that lighter pink, and fill this in. Okay, that, and let's get her little socks. All right, let's do her shoes now and go pick up that little mustard color. Okay, I'm kind of having second thoughts about these socks. I don't want her to look like she's, her tights have fallen down or something, you know. Because her legs are longer, I think it might look a little bit odd. So I'm actually going to make the choice and just go with my original plan and making her wear tights instead. I think if her legs were a little bit shorter and stockier, it would probably be cuter, but this might look a little bit awkward. So let's change that. So I can do that by just going back into my pink layer and deleting this, just upping that a little bit, delete that, and I'm gonna go to, where is it? This, there we go, that layer. Oops, did I do that on the wrong layer? I think I did. That's all right. Okay. So I'm going to then, I'm actually, here, let me think. I'm gonna take this layer, select, with the freehand, select this, and I'm gonna do copy and paste, and that'll paste it on top, so I can go to the layer below and just erase that from there, because I'm gonna want them to be a different color. Same with this layer, I'm gonna select it, I'm gonna hit my little squiggly little S shape, select around there, copy and paste, go back to the layer before. I'm going to turn it off so I can see before and delete that as well. So then I have those two, the legs on their own layer now. See here and here. So I can change the color. So I'm going to actually have these white, and then we'll do maybe some stripes. And I'm going to fill that with white. And I think this, I'm going to make the charcoal color. So what I can do, when it's a line like this, you can go in and drop it in. That is possible. What you could also do is hit the layer, tap on it, hit clipping mask, and then fill that with the color you want. You can do that as well, and then just go click on it and do merge down. So those are some options for you. So while I have this, and I'm going to use the dry ink pen, and I have the charcoal, I'm going to add these lines back in to complete this. Oops, let's get that there. Okay, so now her legs look like that, and now I'm going to put some stripes on them. So make a new layer. I'm going to go and I'm going to select this mustardy color, and we're going to make some stripes. Let's see if we put it up to, I'm not sure if I can get it accurate enough on the edges, but go up to like 16. I want to see what this looks like. Maybe a little thicker. Little stripies. Okay. Maybe we'll speed this up a little bit for you because this might be a little boring. I'm sure you know how to do stripes. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so now, where was I? I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit of work on this dress, but first I'm gonna fill those shoes. Actually, I can do it on this layer because it's the same color. And the reason why I have all these layers on and so many different colors is, or rather all the layers or all the colors on different layers, is because I like to be able to change them. And just with the work that I do, it's really advantageous to be able to make different versions or variations, or have that choice and not be limited to having it stuck on one layer. But by all means, you can put things, group them together, and not have 500 layers like I usually do. So I'm gonna put some cute buttons here. Not with that pen. I'm gonna go back to my dry ink, and I'm gonna put it back to, what do we have it on? 6. I think 6 will work. Actually, I think it was 8. Okay. Cute buttons. I'm just gonna have them overlapping a little bit. And then I'm gonna fill them in below. I'm gonna put a new layer here. I'm trying to get away with not having to, but I think it's inevitable. Okay, so that needs to be above there. Cute. Okay, so I think we need a little bit of detail on this dress. So I might just do a little pattern, just, or something. It needs maybe a little pocket, something right there. So with the dark green, I'm going to go back into my dark green layer, and let's just see what a little pocket looks like. And then just a little stitching. Maybe they'd have a little tag there. Back to the other layer and grab that lighter mustard studio pen and fill it in. And I'm actually going to go over with the white and fill in the tag. All right, that's a little bit more detail. And then let's do some shading. So I'm going to go on top of my legs layer, select another layer, and I'm going to just do a little bit of a gray. I'm gonna do blue and put up here. I'll add this to it. Okay, so we're gonna go back into our brushes and find painting and go to the gouache. And what I'm gonna do with this layer is click on it, select clipping mask, so that it will select the white part below, so I can't color out here. I can only color in here. So I'm gonna take the gouache pen or brush and put up to maybe size 6, and I'm gonna go at about 70% opacity, and that'll give us that sort of look. So of course she's gonna have the shadow from there, and you can kind of fill it in there. Good, and then I'm going to go where the dress is, the fill, and add another layer. Again, use the clipping mask, select the darker pink. We still have our gouache, and we can go in and add some little shadows there. I think I'm going to up the gouache brush a little bit more to maybe size 12. And you can kind of paint away here, giving it a little bit more shape, a little bit more dynamic there. Okay, so now to our skin layer. Same thing, click on the skin layer, add a new layer, click it again, hit clipping mask, hit that darker taupe, and we'll go in again. Actually, I'm going to change this down a little bit again to an 8. Just give it a little definition. Well, actually, you know what, here, I'm gonna just erase this and then bring it around here. She's gonna have a shadow under her hair. Probably be nice if we gave her some eyebrows too. Bring this brush back a little bit just so we can get in with the ears. I think I don't really like what I did with those ears. There. Okay, brush back up to about 8. Just get this other arm here. And in there. Good. Okay. Let's give her some eyebrows. Let's go on to our face layer here. Select the darker brown and select inking and dry ink. And I'm sure she's got some eyebrows in there. I don't really see them too much, but we should know that they are there. All right, might just define her nose a little bit more, so we can kind of see it better. Okay, and then I'm also going to add a little white on the top, so just a little dot. And we can add, so now I'm getting into details, add a little highlight on her lips. Maybe not on the top. Maybe a little bit on her nose. Okay. So let's get to putting a few more textures and stuff into her hair. So I'm going to select the hair layer, and I'm going to create another layer and a clipping mask. You guessed it, I love clipping masks. So I'm going to use that dark color again, and I'm going to go in, and I think I'll use the gouache just to keep it consistent here. we're gonna just give her some shadows. Oh, right, those are on a different layer. And I'm just gonna play around with the brush sizes. Obviously, this doesn't need to be too exact, but I have it at 2% at the moment. And I still have it at 70% opacity. Just sort of play wherever you think it would be a good idea. Again, play with the pressure of your brush a little bit to have a little variation. Okay, and then I'm going to go and do the same with the pigtails in the back here, clipping mask, and just, yeah, get some little definition there. That's good. Okay, I think I'd like some highlights on here, so I'm actually going to add a new color to this. So what I'm going to do, actually I'll show you how I would select a different color for this. On this wheel here, it's not really a wheel, it's a picker here, you would go up and to the left, kind of like an L, and that'll give you a nice highlight color. So let's just see if that's light enough. Of course I'm on this layer, so that makes a difference. I think that'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bit smaller, 2%. Yeah. Again, maybe 1%. Have a few lines in there. All right, and then I'm gonna go back up to this layer and throw a few little lights. Okay, that's good for now. So I'm going to actually show you something what I often like to do with my clothing to give it a little bit more texture. Of course, you can totally leave it like this, or you can try something a little different. So what I'm going to do is select my dress layer, and I'm actually going to turn it white. So there it is. Then I'm going to add another layer, and it can be below this clipping mask here. That's not a problem. Automatically it will become a clipping mask because that's in that kind of little sandwich there. I'm going to select that pink, that lighter pink. I'm actually going to go and attempt to find where I put this brush. There it is. All right, here we go. The Spectra brush. I am going to make it quite large. I'm going to make it about 20%. And then I'm just going to really lightly, so you can see that's quite dark, but really lightly just do some layers, and it kind of gives us this cool texture that I like, especially for jeans. It's one I use for jeans a lot. So you just, and you can change the size of it just so you can mix up the pattern a little bit. And I think that looks cool. Just gives it a little bit different effect. Okay, so we should probably draw the flowers that she'll be holding here. So I'm going to go, I'll just go up the top, a new layer. I'm going to use the mustard color just to keep our palette consistent. Go back to the inking, dry ink, and let's just give her a little like that, and maybe one will have a little leaf. Okay, and let's see, maybe there'll be white flowers, so I'll use the blue for the flowers, and I'll just be simple little flowers, I think. a little bit more sketchy. And then I'm going to use that mustard color for the center. Cute. Okay. So what else shall we do to this lovely little lady? I think her shoes probably need a little shadow, and I think those stripes as well. Let's do those stripes first. Do a clipping mask, and I'm going to use that darker mustard. Go back to the not painting layer. Go back to, actually no, yep, it is, what am I saying? Gouache, and bump this back up to, let's say 8, and just do that. It'll be subtle, you probably won't notice it as much. Actually, I'm gonna bump this up to 100% just because you can't see it very well. There we go. Nice. Cool. Okay. And, oh, I know what we've forgotten, her cheeks. There we go. Okay, so go to her skin layer and add another layer. Again, that will automatically become a clipping mask because you have one on top. And go in and find this warm pink color. We have our gouache. Let's see how big that, oh, you know what? It's not a bad size. Okay, so I'm at about 8 still. And we're gonna give her some cute little cheeks. Ah, that's so much better. And maybe we'll give her, I don't know, some freckles. Let's see. Let's see, go to her face layer, go to the darker, well, no, the lighter brown, I think. And we'll go to the inking, dry ink, and let's see. Should she have some over her nose? That's cute. I always like freckles. All right. Little smattering. Okay, so I think almost done. I think we need just a few highlights again. We're on this hair. I'm going to just do another layer. Get this, and I'm just gonna go up here, make it quite a bit lighter, and I'm gonna be on my dry ink just to do some, you know, more intense layer. Then I'm gonna do this, add that for the highlights. I don't think that'd be quite as highlighted in there. I think that just adds, we needed a little something. That's better. Okay. And I think on the buttons, I'm gonna do the white. Just give them a little love here. That's good. Let's see, maybe we'll give her just like that. Maybe just like, yeah. Few little highlights just to add a little bit more pop. There. I think that turned out all right. So that's it, guys. Great job in sticking to the end and getting all the way through. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be totally notified of all the new tutorials just like this one in the future. So I love you guys, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.